So the Sharks app was developed with Roanoke Stormwater and Virginia Tech, and it kind of started with a simple premise was that we had observed during storms that rainfall in one part of the city might be really different from rainfall elsewhere in the city. And we wanted a way to figure out how much it was raining everywhere across the city. Roanoke Stormwater installed some rain gauges, and the Sharks app serves as kind of an interface or portal to access the data from that and visualize the amount of rainfall. So Sharks was developed to answer two main questions. How much did it rain? And then a follow-up question, is it flooding? So when you log on to the Sharks app, you get this notice here. So what that means is during a flood event, the data that's initially recorded by the sensors, they might change that based on high water marks or manual observations. Or there could be errors in the measurements. And so what this means is that the USGS is just going to go back and double check all the values. And then on the Sharks homepage, you're presented with two buttons that ask you what you would like to learn. On the left, it says, how much did it rain? I'm going to click on that now. When Sharks loads, you're presented with this map here, and it shows each of the rainfall gauges across the city in these blue circles, and then the city boundary is shown in this black outline. And you can control the map in several different ways. On the top left here, we've got buttons, so you can zoom in or out. And then the top right, there's different options for the different base maps or background imagery that you have. So we have a street map, and then there's a topographic map that shows the terrain and elevation across the city. And then there's an aerial imagery or satellite imagery layer too. You can also control it with your mouse by dragging, or you can zoom in and out with your scroll bar or trackpad. So today we haven't gotten any rain in the city, but you can also see with different options on the left here, the amount of rainfall the city's received over different date ranges. So I'm going to click over the past week, and then the map will reload and tell us how much rain we've received this week. As you can see, the rainfall across the city is different in different parts of the city. So in the southwest, we've got almost 11 inches of rain, but in the northeast, it only got about 6.5 inches of rain. If you want to see how much rain the city received in a different part other than those rain gauges, you can also click on the map. So I'm going to click there, here. So that lets you explore how much rainfall you've got at different locations. If you wanted to know a specific location, you can either navigate to it by using the map zoom and pan features. So if I want to go downtown here, and I want to find how much rain at the market building, I can click on it. Okay, they got 8 inches of rain there. But you can also find out how much rain you got at a specific location. I'm going to reset the map by clicking the reset map graph here. And if I want to see how much rain we got at the Roanoke Municipal Building, I can add in that name, or if I knew the address, I could type that in too. If I click add location, then it'll process that and estimate how much rainfall we got at the municipal building. You can also view this data in a graph view, which makes it a little easier to compare rainfall among the different gauges and sites. And if you want to find the amount of rainfall at your own current location, if you enable it on your device, you can click on Find My Location, and then it'll estimate rainfall where I am. If you want a different custom date range too, you can click on that. So I'm going to change the date first here, and I want to look at the tropical storm we had a couple years ago. That was on October 11th. So I'm going to change the date, and then I can click on Over Custom Date Range, and it'll reload that. You see during that event, we got between 2.5 to about 4.5 inches of rain. And if you go back to the map by clicking the Map View button, you can see that the map is updated with that new data. And if you have questions about some of the different inputs, you can click on these little question mark buttons, and then they'll give you some extra information about what the options and inputs do. Sharks is also compatible with mobile devices, and you get the same interface as on the desktop, but it's just rearranged a little bit. If you click on the How Much Has It Rained tab, the view defaults to this graph view instead of the map view. But you can both access the map and the graph by clicking the Switch to Map View button. And then you can still interact the same way by adding an address or location. So if I click the Roanoke Municipal Building here, I can add that to the map and still see it. And then you can go back to the graph view if you want. On the mobile devices, you can navigate between the How Much Has It Rained tab and the Is It Flooding tab, clicking the 3 dashes in the top right, and then switching between your pages.